Please come in. Sorry, the receptionist is actually out today, so I just thought I'd leave the door open and then wait for the survey takers to arrive. I'm just filling out some information right now, but please take a seat. I'll be with you in 1 moment. Okay, height, gender, favorite video game. Real bad taste in games, I can't lie, but alright. Well, I am very sorry about that. I hope you weren't waiting too long. As I'm sure you're probably aware, you received a letter in the post telling you about this sleep survey. Now, what the sleep survey is we just basically get you to come down in person to basically tell us, what kind of stuff you do to prepare yourself for sleep, if you do anything. And what this does is it just gives us kind of a idea on how people sleep, what's good for sleep, what's bad for sleep. And we're actually going to be, documenting everything so that we can come out with sort of a book, maybe, that teaches people how to achieve a wonderful night's rest. Now, I'm sure that you also probably read in the letter that this is mandatory, and we would have dispatched a group to your house to bring you here if you didn't come here on your own terms, really. So, thank you for, coming here yourself. It costs us around £70,000 to send that group out, and it's this way is just a lot nicer and a lot more pleasant. So, like I said, you're very lucky. Not many people are taking part in this survey, at least not yet. We need to prove our findings to the government. We need to get everything ready and then show them how to get a good night's rest, and we're hoping that once they throw their support behind it, that we'll be able to force everyone to take this survey, whether they like it or not, and then we can really figure out and get in deep and figure out how to get a good night's rest, because everyone deserves a good night's rest, and that's what we're here to do with this sleep survey. So I'm going to ask you a set of questions, and you don't have to worry about anything. They're very easy questions. We're going to try not to get too personal, and we're just going to see, how you sleep. If you sleep, do you sleep? You do sleep, wonderful. And we're just going to document everything. We're going to write it all down. We will publish everything. By the way, your name, face, address, all your information is just going to be out there. So that's the only setback. But what are you going to do? So let's start off with your name. What is your name? It's a nice name. How do you spell that? Oh. Wonderful. Could I ask you your gender identity? Okay. Wonderful. How tall are you? It's okay if you don't know exactly your height, but just roughly. Really? You're telling me the truth. You're that tall. Okay, well. Okay, that is your height documented. This is just the very basic information. We're going to get into the more intense questions as we go. We just need to know who you are and basic information, So where were you born? Did you enjoy being born there? Was that a good place to be born? Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good was your experience being born? Okay. Excellent. Now, did you grow up there, or did you move somewhere else? Okay. Very nice. What was school like? Did you go to school? Okay. And what was it like? Did you have any favorite teachers? No. Okay. No favorite teachers. Okay. Well, I think we get a pretty good idea of who you are and what you're about so far. Now let's do some fun questions. What's your credit card information? Okay, 9984. Okay, 7102. Wonderful. Do you have a PayPal account? You do. Could you tell me the email address to that PayPal account? Okay. And the password to it? Wonderful. I really don't want to sound mean, but that's a really easy password. You should probably change that. If you do, let me know, obviously. But I wouldn't be using that password. That's really, really easy to guess. Alright, let's put that into your file. We're looking very good so far. Do you have a favorite beverage? You know, H2O, water. Dr. Pepper. Are you a Dr. Pepper kind of person? Okay. What about Sprite? You like Sprite? You ever had Sprite? I'm not really much of a Sprite guy myself, but I know some people like Sprite. Okay, you hate the stuff. Okay. I can understand why. Okay. Let's get more into the sleep side of things. On average, how often do you sleep at night? Okay, you know, like 6 hours, 5 hours. Or you sleep for 25 minutes. 25 minutes. Really? That's interesting. I've never met anybody who only sleeps for 25 minutes. Is that on purpose? It is on purpose. Oh, that's interesting. So, like, do you have like a lot of hobbies, or do you work, at, you know, multiple jobs or something? Because I can't really think of anything that would require you to sleep for only 25 minutes. That doesn't seem healthy. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, that makes complete sense. Yeah, I don't even know why I didn't think of that. Of course. Forgive me. So that's all locked in there. So what do you do to prepare for your 25 minutes of slumber? Do you drink something? Do you drink maybe like chamomile tea, or perhaps some other sort of relaxing beverage such as warm milk? Really could be anything. It doesn't have to be the more traditional sort of relaxing drinks. You know, you could, maybe you relax with Jaeger bomb or something. It could be really anything. Okay. Really, and how do you drink that? In a glass? Yeah. Very nice. Well, that sounds really nice. I'll have to try that. So, how on average would you say you have dreams? Dreams are very interesting, really. They can be interpreted. They can really, tell you a lot about a person, depending on their dreams and what they dream about, who they dream about, certain scenarios. So, like, do you dream? How often do you dream, and what do you dream about? If you could just, tell me that. That sounds quite fun. Oh boy, that got dark quick. Okay, and do you have this dream often? Every night? Okay, we're just gonna move past that real quick. Yeah. So, if you had a friend You have friends? You do, okay. So if one of those friends came to you and said that they couldn't sleep, what advice would you give to said friend to help them slumber? Would you tell them to, like, maybe get some relaxing lavender scent, some lavender spray, spray it on their pillow? Or perhaps, maybe some rose scent, that's quite relaxing. Yeah, maybe you tell them to drink some warm milk. It really could be anything at all. What would you tell them? Well, I could see that working. It might hurt a little, don't you think? But the end result is worth it. Oh, okay, I see where you're going with that. Yeah, that's a good enough answer. I will accept that. Okay, this is going to be a scenario question, much like the last one. If you had to share a bed with any celebrity, and it's completely platonic, it's just you and another person just sleeping in the same bed, who would you want it to be? You know, any celebrity, musician, actor, anybody. K-pop idol, a YouTuber, a VTuber, really could be anyone, anything you can think of, anybody who's in the public eye. Who do you think would be a good slumber partner? You know, it really could be anyone. I don't judge. Okay, I'm gonna judge you a little bit on that one. Really? Okay, I mean, like, I personally, I don't know who I would have gone with. Trying to think of who would be somebody who would be a good sleeper. Because that's what you want. You want a good sleeper. You want somebody who's not going to snore too loudly, but maybe a gentle snore, sort of like a purr, like a cat. But that person you said, that's a really bizarre choice, but you seem happy with it, and that's really what this is about. You know, how you would sleep, how you would do things, and you really did pick a person there. You really did. Okay, well, now that we got that one out of the way, I'd like you to just sit there as you're doing right now, and I'd like you to imagine the best place on Earth. The place that we currently are on Earth. We are on Earth, if you didn't know that. What best place on Earth would be to get a very beautiful night's rest? It could be perhaps Venice, Italy, Paris, France, Scunthorpe, England, anywhere really. You know, Brazil, Peru. I'm just naming countries at this point. You know, where would you like to spend a night? Where would you like to travel to? If I right now snapped my fingers and I could teleport you to really anywhere in the world, where would you like to spend a night? In your own bed, really? I mean, I get it, but it's just like, it's a little boring, don't you think? Yeah, I mean, I know, like, it's hard sleeping in a bed when you're traveling. It is difficult, but I just felt like you could go anywhere. You could really just go anywhere, and you want to just go to your own bed in your own place. I mean, hey, it's your survey. It's your decisions, right? It's just going to go into a file that'll be readily available for anybody to read. Right then, okay. In your opinion, what would be a good meal to eat and then to take a nap? naps are very important, and we haven't really covered naps yet, so let's do that now. Do you nap? Sometimes, okay. You know, what type of meal would you have that's filling and nice tasting and is just good, a good meal? What is something you would have and then, you know, fall asleep immediately after having? Okay. A single turkey leg. Just a single turkey leg. Like, just that on its own. No, nothing. You sure? I mean, I like turkey. I think turkey's fine. I only really have it around Christmas, though. Yeah, that's your decision, I guess. Okay. Okay, so we've established you only sleep 25 minutes a night. Your perfect meal would be a single turkey leg. Your choice, person who you would platonically share a bed with. I'm not even going to repeat what you said. I just can't. You know, we're learning a lot about you, and you seem like a very interesting person. I have a couple more questions for you. So let's just get them out of the way, shall we? In your opinion, what is the worst thing about sleeping? For me, it's kind of like, what am I missing? You know, like, I'm going to bed, and the other side of the world are waking up, and, you know, they're doing stuff. What are they up to? You know, who knows? Nobody knows, and I don't know because I'm asleep, and that's something that I don't like about sleeping. You know, I want to know what those guys are getting up to. You know, are they having fun? Are they having a good time? That's something that I dislike about sleeping, but what's yours? Okay, so you're saying the part about sleeping you don't like is that you're scared that a ghost will take over your body whilst you're asleep. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Has that ever happened to you before? You don't know? Well, I suppose if you're asleep, how could you know? Okay, I can get behind that one. I wouldn't want a ghost taking control of my body whilst I'm asleep, you know. You know, that would be pretty bad, actually, when I think about it. You know what? I actually have changed my mind. That's a really good answer. It's a really good answer. We'll definitely go to the government with that one. Now, we're on the last question now, so not too much longer to go. Let me just pull it up here. And the question is quite an important one. Are you ready for this? Okay. Is it better to sleep in a bed with 40 pillows, plushes and everything? Or is it better to sleep in a bed with just a singular pillow and duvet? Think hard about this one. This question, I've been going back and forth about this one myself, you know. It's a difficult one. You don't sleep in a bed. You sleep upside down in a cave. And is that for a medical reason, if you don't mind me asking? It just feels right? Okay. Well, if it feels right, why not? Well then, you are probably the most interesting person I've ever done a survey with, and I want to thank you personally for coming down here. You didn't have a choice, but still, I'd like to thank you for that. I'm gonna finish writing up your profile and your data that you've given us, and we will pass this along to the government as soon as we can. With your help, we hope that we can bring great sleep to every human being on this earth. So, you're a pioneer. You've done something really great today, and that's wonderful. You should reward yourself with a nice 25-minute slumber upside down in the cave. wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming in. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye.